Imagine waking up every morning with a smile on your face, a heart full of energy, and a mind ready to embrace the day, no matter what comes your way. Imagine feeling truly happy, not because of money, fame, or success, but because you have discovered the secret to pushing yourself to be happy every single day. Today, I want to take you on a journey through the mind of one of the most inspiring entrepreneurs of our time, Jack Ma, a man who faced countless rejections, failures, and doubts, yet never allowed them to steal his joy. He didn't wait for the world to give him happiness. He learned how to create it from within, how to find light in darkness, and how to turn challenges into fuel for positivity. What if I told you that happiness is not something you stumble upon, but a skill you can practice, a mindset you can train, and a choice you can make every day? By the end of this speech, you will not just understand the philosophy that shaped Jack Ma's life, but you will discover practical ways to push yourself, ignite your spirit, and embrace each day with energy, gratitude, and unwavering joy. Today is the day you start living happy, no matter what life throws at you. Happiness is often seen as something that comes from achieving big goals, acquiring wealth, or gaining recognition. But Jack Ma's philosophy teaches us that true happiness begins with a simple practice that can transform your entire day: gratitude. Starting your day with gratitude is not just a feel-good habit. It is a deliberate mindset that trains your brain to focus on the positives rather than the negatives. When you wake up each morning and consciously acknowledge the blessings in your life, you set the tone for how you perceive everything that follows. Gratitude shifts your focus from scarcity to abundance, from complaints to appreciation, and from stress to calmness. It allows you to see opportunities in challenges and growth in failures, which is essential if you want to cultivate happiness every day. For Jack Ma, who faced numerous rejections and failures in his early life, gratitude was a tool to maintain resilience and optimism. Despite being turned down multiple times by universities and jobs, he learned to appreciate the small victories and the lessons hidden in rejection, understanding that even setbacks contain hidden value. This mindset enabled him to approach each day with energy and positivity, which became a driving force behind his entrepreneurial success. Gratitude does not require you to have extraordinary circumstances or possessions. It is about acknowledging what is already present in your life. It can be as simple as appreciating the sunlight streaming through your window, the support of your family, the opportunity to learn something new, or even the challenges that push you to grow. By focusing on these aspects, your mind begins to rewire itself to notice the good things rather than obsess over what is missing. Jack Ma often emphasizes that happiness is not a destination, but a daily choice, and starting the day with gratitude is one of the most effective ways to make that choice consistently. When you cultivate this habit, you are essentially training yourself to approach life with a lens of positivity, and over time, this becomes a natural part of your mindset. Morning routines rooted in gratitude can also enhance your mental and physical well-being. Scientific studies have shown that practicing gratitude reduces stress, improves mood, strengthens relationships, and even boosts immunity. When you begin your day with thankfulness, you release stress hormones that might otherwise dominate your thinking, replacing them with feelings of contentment and motivation. This is particularly important for individuals pursuing ambitious goals like Jack Ma, because the journey to success is often filled with obstacles, criticism, and uncertainty. Without gratitude, it is easy to become frustrated, disheartened, or anxious. With it, every challenge becomes an opportunity to learn, every achievement becomes a milestone to celebrate, and every interaction becomes a chance to connect meaningfully with others. Moreover, gratitude encourages a forward-looking perspective while also rooting you in the present. Jack Ma's success was not built on dwelling on past failures or worrying about uncertain futures. It was built on recognizing the value in the present moment and leveraging it fully. By taking time each morning to reflect on what you are grateful for, you develop a sense of awareness and mindfulness that carries through the day. This mindfulness allows you to respond to situations with calmness and clarity rather than reacting impulsively to frustration or negativity. It becomes a foundation for a happy mindset that is not dependent on external circumstances, but emerges from within. Incorporating gratitude into your daily routine can be simple yet profoundly impactful. You can start your day by mentally listing 3 things you are thankful for, keeping a gratitude journal, or even verbally expressing appreciation to those around you. The key is consistency. The more regularly you practice gratitude, the more natural it becomes, and the more it reshapes your perception of life. Jack Ma's life demonstrates that even in the face of failure, rejection, and uncertainty, maintaining gratitude allows you to stay motivated, energized, and happy. This practice nurtures resilience, optimism, and a sense of purpose, all of which are essential for long-term happiness and fulfillment. By starting each day with gratitude, you are not waiting for happiness to arrive. You are creating it proactively. You are training your mind to focus on abundance rather than scarcity, on growth rather than limitation, and on positivity rather than negativity. Over time, this practice builds an inner reservoir of joy that sustains you through challenges, amplifies your achievements, and makes everyday life more meaningful and fulfilling. It is one of the simplest yet most powerful strategies to push yourself toward happiness consistently, and it reflects the wisdom of Jack Ma, who understands that happiness is a mindset cultivated daily, not a reward earned at the end of a long journey. Happiness is deeply connected to the way we measure our lives, and Jack Ma often emphasizes that one of the biggest obstacles to daily happiness is the habit of comparing yourself to others. In modern society, it is easy to fall into the trap of measuring success, worth, or progress against the achievements of people around us. Social media intensifies this problem, constantly presenting curated snapshots of other people's lives that seem perfect and enviable. Jack Ma's insight is simple yet profound. True happiness does not come from comparison. It comes from growth. When you focus on your own journey rather than competing with everyone else, you free yourself from the cycle of jealousy, inadequacy, and frustration that so many people experience. Growth, unlike comparison, is measurable in your own terms. Every small step you take toward becoming a better version of yourself is progress that belongs entirely to you. And recognizing these moments nurtures a sense of fulfillment that external achievements or accolades cannot replicate. Jack Ma's own life provides a vivid example of why focusing on personal growth is essential for happiness. Before Alibaba became a global giant, he faced repeated rejections from jobs, universities, and investors. Many people around him were succeeding faster, earning more, or gaining recognition more easily. Yet instead of succumbing to envy or self-doubt, he concentrated on developing his skills, learning from failures, and building his own vision. Each lesson he learned, each new skill he acquired, was a step forward in his personal growth, independent of the pace of others. By doing this, he created a mindset where his happiness depended on progress, not external comparison, and this resilience became a cornerstone of his success. Focusing on growth rather than comparison also changes the way you set goals. When you compare yourself to others, goals are often based on what other people have achieved rather than what you truly need or desire. This can lead to frustration, burnout, and a constant sense of inadequacy because there will always be someone doing better than you. Jack Ma advises setting goals that align with your values, capabilities, and ambitions. When you pursue these goals, progress is tangible and personally meaningful. Even small achievements can provide a profound sense of satisfaction because they represent real growth on your own terms. Happiness, in this sense, is cultivated daily by recognizing these incremental successes rather than waiting for major milestones or validation from others. Another critical aspect of focusing on growth is developing self-awareness and patience. Growth is often slow, incremental, and sometimes invisible, but each step contributes to your long-term success and satisfaction. Jack Ma highlights the importance of patience in personal development. When you constantly compare yourself to others, you are likely to become impatient, frustrated, and discouraged, thinking that you are behind or failing. By concentrating on your own journey, you can celebrate progress without rushing or feeling pressured to match someone else's timeline. This patient approach cultivates a steady sense of accomplishment and encourages persistence, both of which are essential for long-term happiness and fulfillment. Focusing on personal growth also changes the way you perceive challenges and setbacks. When your primary benchmark is your own progress, obstacles become opportunities to learn and improve rather than indicators of failure. Jack Ma often speaks about how failures and difficulties are integral parts of growth, and seeing them through the lens of learning helps maintain a positive mindset. Instead of feeling jealous of someone else's success, you can analyze what they did, learn from it, and apply it to your own journey without self-condemnation. This perspective fosters resilience and optimism, which are crucial components of daily happiness. Practically, this focus on growth can be applied in many areas of life. In career, you can measure progress by the skills you acquire, the problems you solve, and the impact you make rather than by comparing salaries or promotions. In personal life, you can track growth by the relationships you nurture, the habits you build, and the emotional intelligence you develop. Even small daily actions like reading a book, exercising, or practicing a new skill become sources of satisfaction when viewed as personal progress. Over time, this habit transforms your mindset, helping you find joy and contentment in your journey rather than in fleeting comparisons. Ultimately, Jack Ma's advice to focus on growth instead of comparison is about reclaiming control over your own happiness. When you stop measuring yourself against others, you stop giving your power away to external circumstances and opinions. Your sense of fulfillment, motivation, and joy becomes internal, arising from the steady, measurable progress you make in becoming the person you aspire to be. By embracing growth as your true benchmark, happiness becomes a daily practice, a natural consequence of improvement, and a sustainable mindset that cannot be easily shaken by the achievements or failures of those around you. Happiness is often misunderstood as the absence of failure. But Jack Ma teaches us that embracing failure is one of the most powerful ways to push yourself toward daily happiness. Many people fear failure and see it as a threat to their self-worth. Yet Jack Ma's own life illustrates that failure is not the opposite of success. It is a necessary part of it. Early in his career, Jack Ma faced repeated rejections from jobs, schools, and investors. He was turned down by KFC, failed his college entrance exams multiple times, and struggled to convince others of his vision for Alibaba. Rather than allowing these failures to define him, he treated them as lessons, opportunities to refine his understanding, develop resilience, and strengthen his resolve. By viewing failure as a teacher rather than an enemy, he cultivated a mindset that allowed him to maintain happiness and motivation even in the face of setbacks. One of the key principles Jack Ma emphasizes is that failure provides clarity. Each failure exposes areas where improvement is needed, highlights weaknesses, and forces reflection on strategy and approach. When approached with curiosity and humility, failure becomes a tool for growth. Instead of feeling defeated, you can analyze what went wrong, identify lessons, and apply that knowledge in the future. This mindset transforms challenges into stepping stones rather than obstacles, which is crucial for sustaining happiness. Daily happiness is not about avoiding difficulties. It is about knowing that even when things go wrong, you are gaining experience and moving closer to your goals. By reframing failure as progress, you remove the fear and anxiety that often accompany mistakes and create a sense of empowerment and optimism. Jack Ma also underscores the importance of persistence in conjunction with learning from failure. Happiness is not achieved by instant success. It is cultivated by repeatedly facing challenges, learning from mistakes, and continuing to move forward despite setbacks. Each time you fail and keep trying, you build confidence in your ability to overcome difficulties. This confidence contributes to a sense of security and inner contentment, which are essential components of daily happiness. By embracing persistence, you develop a mindset that is resilient, adaptive, and capable of finding joy in the journey rather than relying solely on outcomes. Another reason embracing failure contributes to happiness is that it removes the pressure of perfection. Many people experience anxiety or dissatisfaction because they expect themselves to succeed without making mistakes. Jack Ma's philosophy teaches that mistakes are inevitable, and accepting this reality liberates you from unrealistic standards. When you allow yourself to fail without judgment, you reduce stress, cultivate patience, and maintain a positive attitude. You begin to see every experience, good or bad, as valuable, and happiness becomes less dependent on external validation and more rooted in personal growth and self-acceptance. Failure also fosters creativity and innovation, which are deeply connected to satisfaction and fulfillment. When you are not afraid to fail, you are more willing to take risks, experiment with new ideas, and explore unconventional paths. Jack Ma often credits his success to his willingness to try things that others considered impossible or risky. This bold approach leads to a sense of excitement, curiosity, and engagement with life, all of which enhance happiness. By embracing failure as part of the process, you open the door to opportunities and experiences that would otherwise remain inaccessible, enriching your daily life and sense of purpose. Practically applying this principle involves a shift in perspective. Instead of avoiding challenges, seek them out as opportunities for growth. When you fail, take time to reflect on what you have learned rather than dwelling on disappointment. Celebrate the courage it took to try and use the knowledge gained to make better decisions in the future. Surround yourself with people who view failure as a learning experience and encourage resilience because their support reinforces this positive mindset. By doing so, you build an environment where daily happiness is not tied to perfection, approval, or constant success, but arises naturally from engagement, effort, and growth. Ultimately, Jack Ma's view of failure is a roadmap for sustained happiness. He demonstrates that life's challenges, setbacks, and mistakes are not barriers to joy, but instruments for achieving it. By embracing failure as a teacher, cultivating persistence, removing the pressure for perfection, and viewing every challenge as a learning opportunity, you develop a mindset that allows you to find satisfaction and contentment regardless of external circumstances. This approach transforms life into a continuous journey of growth, learning, and fulfillment where happiness is not a distant goal, but a daily experience cultivated through resilience, courage, and the wisdom to turn setbacks into stepping stones toward a more meaningful and joyful life. The people and environment around you play a crucial role in shaping your mindset and overall happiness, and Jack Ma emphasizes the importance of surrounding yourself with positive energy. Happiness is not created in isolation. It is influenced by the attitudes, beliefs, and behaviors of those you interact with daily. When you are constantly exposed to negativity, criticism, or pessimism, it can drain your energy, sap motivation, and cloud your perspective. On the other hand, being around supportive, encouraging, and ambitious individuals provides inspiration, confidence, and optimism. Jack Ma has often spoken about the people he surrounded himself with during his early struggles, highlighting how mentors, team members, and even competitors influenced his growth. He understood that the right environment could amplify creativity, resilience, and joy, while the wrong environment could hinder progress and diminish happiness. Choosing your companions and the energy you allow into your life is a deliberate act that has profound implications for daily motivation and contentment. Positive energy from people around you does not mean they must always agree with you or shield you from criticism. It means they challenge you constructively, celebrate your successes genuinely, and encourage growth when you stumble. Jack Ma often credits the culture he built at Alibaba to this principle, creating a team-oriented atmosphere where collaboration, optimism, and shared vision fostered not only productivity, but also happiness. Daily interactions with people who uplift you create an emotional buffer against stress and setbacks. They remind you of your capabilities, motivate you to pursue your goals, and encourage you to see challenges as opportunities rather than obstacles. The cumulative effect of these positive influences is a consistent, sustainable sense of happiness that comes from feeling supported, understood, and inspired. it is equally important to be mindful of the negative influences in your life. Toxic relationships, constant criticism, or environments filled with gossip and negativity can erode your confidence and cloud your thinking. Jack Ma's advice implicitly teaches that protecting your mental space is a form of self-respect and a prerequisite for happiness. If your daily environment is dominated by pessimism or discouragement, it becomes difficult to maintain focus, motivation, or a positive mindset. Avoiding such influences does not mean isolating yourself from reality. Rather, it is about curating your energy sources to ensure that your interactions reinforce resilience, growth, and optimism. By consciously choosing to engage with positive influences, you strengthen your emotional stability and make it easier to sustain happiness in the face of challenges. The influence of positive energy also extends beyond people to the broader environment, including the physical and digital spaces you inhabit. Jack Ma's philosophy implies that your surroundings should reflect and reinforce the mindset you want to cultivate. Clean, organized, and inspiring spaces can enhance creativity and reduce stress, while cluttered or chaotic environments can contribute to anxiety and distraction. Similarly, the media, information, and content you consume daily shape your thinking patterns. Being intentional about the information you absorb, whether through books, news, or social media, ensures that your mind remains focused on growth, optimism, and possibility rather than fear, comparison, or cynicism. Positive energy, therefore, is both a social and environmental consideration affecting every dimension of daily life and your ability to maintain happiness consistently. Jack Ma also highlights that surrounding yourself with positive energy is a two-way street. While it is important to seek supportive influences, it is equally important to contribute positively to the lives of others. Generosity, encouragement, and constructive feedback not only help others, but also reinforce your own sense of purpose and happiness. When you engage in relationships and environments that are mutually uplifting, happiness becomes self-reinforcing. By being part of a network of people who inspire, challenge, and support one another, you create a ripple effect of positivity that extends beyond individual interactions and enhances your overall life experience. In practical terms, cultivating positive energy involves being selective about whom you spend time with, minimizing exposure to negativity, and actively engaging in environments that inspire growth and optimism. It also involves contributing positively to the energy of those around you through encouragement, collaboration, and constructive support. Jack Ma's life shows that the right combination of people and environment can dramatically accelerate progress, boost motivation, and sustain daily happiness. By intentionally surrounding yourself with positivity, you create a psychological and emotional ecosystem that nurtures resilience, optimism, and joy, making it easier to maintain a balanced, fulfilling, and happy life. Happiness is deeply intertwined with purpose, and Jack Ma emphasizes that serving others is one of the most powerful ways to cultivate a lasting sense of fulfillment and joy. While many people chase happiness through personal achievements, wealth, or recognition, Jack Ma teaches that true and sustainable happiness comes from creating value for others. When your actions benefit people beyond yourself, you experience a sense of meaning and purpose that cannot be matched by material success alone. This principle is evident in his approach to business and leadership, where he consistently prioritized the impact of Alibaba on millions of users, small businesses, and entrepreneurs rather than focusing solely on personal gain. By aligning your daily actions with a higher purpose, you cultivate an internal sense of satisfaction that persists even when external circumstances are challenging. Serving others transforms ordinary tasks into meaningful contributions, and this sense of purpose fuels motivation, positivity, and resilience. Jack Ma's own journey exemplifies the connection between happiness and service. He built Alibaba not merely to become wealthy or famous, but to create opportunities for small businesses to thrive, for individuals to access global markets, and for communities to benefit from technology. This focus on creating value for others gave him a profound sense of fulfillment that went beyond personal success. When you serve others, You shift your perspective from self-centered concerns to a broader understanding of impact, which naturally fosters gratitude, empathy, and contentment. This shift is essential for daily happiness because it allows you to derive joy from the positive influence you have on the lives of others rather than being dependent on fleeting achievements or recognition. Serving others also strengthens relationships, which are fundamental to emotional well-being and happiness. When you contribute positively to the lives of people around you, whether through mentorship, collaboration, or simple acts of kindness, you build trust, respect, and mutual support. Jack Ma emphasizes the importance of strong relationships in both personal and professional life, recognizing that no one achieves success alone. The sense of connection and shared purpose that arises from helping others enhances emotional resilience, reduces feelings of isolation, and provides a consistent source of happiness. Even small gestures of service can have a meaningful impact, creating a ripple effect that benefits both the giver and the receiver. Another reason serving others contributes to happiness is that it provides a sense of accomplishment and self-worth that is independent of external validation. Many people tie their happiness to praise, recognition, or material rewards, which are often unpredictable and temporary. Jack Ma's philosophy encourages finding fulfillment in the act of contributing itself. When your actions improve someone else's life, you experience intrinsic satisfaction that is stable and self-reinforcing. This internal source of joy is especially valuable in the face of challenges, as it allows you to maintain positivity and motivation even when external circumstances are difficult or uncertain. Serving others also encourages a long-term perspective, which is closely tied to happiness. Jack Ma often emphasizes that building something meaningful requires patience, persistence, and a focus on impact rather than immediate gain. When your goal is to create value for others, your efforts are oriented towards sustainable growth and lasting change rather than short-term rewards. This mindset helps you navigate setbacks and failures with resilience, as the measure of your success is the positive difference you make, not fleeting recognition or superficial metrics. By adopting this approach, daily happiness becomes less about momentary pleasures and more about consistent engagement in meaningful work. Practically, serving others can take many forms, from mentoring a colleague, volunteering in your community, or helping friends and family, to innovating in ways that make life easier or better for people around you. Jack Ma's life shows that service is scalable. Small acts of kindness and support can grow into significant impact when combined with vision, creativity, and persistence. By incorporating service into your daily routine, you build a habit of contributing, which reinforces purpose, gratitude, and a sense of connectedness. This alignment of daily actions with meaningful impact nurtures a sustained, intrinsic happiness that is resilient to external pressures, setbacks, or comparisons with others. Ultimately, Jack Ma's philosophy teaches that happiness is not a byproduct of wealth or personal gain, but emerges naturally when your life is dedicated to creating value for others. Serving others cultivates purpose, strengthens relationships, builds self-worth, encourages resilience, and provides a long-term perspective that transforms everyday experiences into sources of joy and fulfillment. By focusing on how your actions benefit people around you, you develop a mindset where happiness is consistent, sustainable, and deeply rooted in meaningful contribution, making each day more rewarding and inspiring. Life is full of challenges, setbacks, and uncertainties, and Jack Ma emphasizes that cultivating resilience and a positive mindset is one of the most important ways to maintain happiness every day. Resilience is the ability to adapt, recover, and continue moving forward despite difficulties, and it is closely tied to your mental and emotional well-being. Jack Ma's own journey exemplifies the power of resilience. He faced repeated failures, rejections, and criticism in his early life. He was denied jobs, failed in college entrance exams, and struggled to convince investors and partners of his vision for Alibaba. Rather than allowing these obstacles to define him or diminish his spirit, he developed a mindset focused on perseverance, optimism, and creative problem solving. By cultivating resilience, He was able to maintain focus, motivation, and a sense of joy even in the face of adversity, demonstrating that happiness is not the absence of problems, but the ability to navigate them with a positive outlook. A positive mindset is central to resilience because it determines how you interpret and respond to life's challenges. Jack Ma teaches that obstacles are not merely barriers, but opportunities to learn, innovate, and grow stronger. When difficulties arise, people with a resilient and positive mindset look for solutions, extract lessons, and adjust their approach rather than succumbing to frustration or despair. This perspective transforms adversity into a source of empowerment and motivation, which in turn fosters a sense of satisfaction and daily happiness. By focusing on what can be controlled, maintaining faith in one's abilities, and seeking the lessons hidden within setbacks, individuals build an inner strength that allows them to remain optimistic even when circumstances are difficult. Resilience also involves cultivating patience and endurance. Life's most meaningful achievements often require time, effort, and repeated attempts. Jack Ma emphasizes that success is rarely instant and that maintaining a steady, positive mindset is essential for long-term progress. When you accept that challenges are a natural part of any meaningful journey, you reduce the emotional toll of stress and disappointment. Daily happiness becomes less dependent on immediate results or external validation and more grounded in the confidence that your efforts are building toward meaningful outcomes. This long-term perspective allows you to maintain emotional balance, celebrate small victories, and continue pushing forward without being derailed by temporary setbacks or failures. Another critical aspect of resilience is learning to manage fear and uncertainty. Jack Ma often speaks about the importance of embracing risk and stepping into the unknown, which requires a mindset that sees possibility rather than threat. Fear of failure, rejection, or criticism can paralyze action and diminish happiness. But by developing resilience, you learn to confront challenges with courage and adaptability. Each time you face uncertainty and move forward despite fear, you strengthen your confidence and reinforce a positive mental framework. This habit of confronting challenges proactively, rather than avoiding them, builds a sustainable sense of empowerment and joy, making it easier to approach each day with energy and optimism. Resilience and a positive mindset also enhance interpersonal relationships, which are crucial for overall happiness. Jack Ma emphasizes that life and business are collaborative endeavors, and facing challenges is easier when you cultivate supportive networks. When you approach difficulties with optimism and resilience, you inspire confidence in others, strengthen trust, and foster cooperation. This positive energy not only improves your personal interactions, but also creates an environment where collective problem solving and mutual support thrive, reinforcing a sense of shared purpose and daily fulfillment. Practically applying resilience and a positive mindset involves intentional mental training. This can include reframing setbacks as lessons, practicing gratitude for progress and effort, maintaining focus on controllable factors, and surrounding yourself with supportive influences that encourage optimism and perseverance. Jack Ma demonstrates that resilience is not a fixed trait, but a skill developed through consistent practice, reflection, and commitment to personal growth. By building this skill, you create an internal foundation for happiness that is independent of external circumstances, allowing you to face challenges with composure, maintain motivation, and experience joy even in difficult times. Ultimately, Jack Ma's philosophy shows that happiness is not merely the result of favorable conditions, but the product of a resilient and positive mindset. By cultivating resilience, learning from challenges, maintaining optimism, managing fear, and developing patience and adaptability, you create a mental and emotional framework that sustains happiness every day. This approach allows you to navigate life's uncertainties with confidence, find fulfillment in growth and effort, and experience a sense of joy and contentment that is durable, empowering, and deeply rooted in your ability to respond to life with courage and positivity. As we reach the end of this journey, remember that happiness is not a distant goal or a reward for success. It is a choice you make every single day. Just like Jack Ma, you have the power to shape your mindset, embrace challenges, serve others, and cultivate gratitude and resilience. Every step you take toward personal growth, every act of kindness, every lesson learned from failure, and every moment you spend surrounding yourself with positivity builds the foundation for a life filled with joy and purpose. Happiness is not something that happens to you. It is something you create, nurture, and protect. So as you leave here today, carry these lessons with you. Push yourself to see opportunities in adversity, celebrate your progress, and focus on growth rather than comparison. Surround yourself with positive energy, serve others with heart, and never underestimate the power of a resilient, optimistic mind. Your happiness is in your hands, and every small step you take toward it compounds into a life of fulfillment, peace, and joy. Good luck on your journey to daily happiness. Keep pushing yourself, stay inspired, and never forget that you have the power to choose joy every single day. Thank you for allowing me to share this message with you.